Hello YouTube, this is C Money and I'm going to do a review on my Lee-Pro 1000 progressive press that I'm going to tell you all a little trick I found out about the primer feed. I've heard a lot of people complaining they had a lot of trouble with the primer feed on this press, and I've read a lot of reviews and had a lot of people, said that these presses were terrible and they gave them away and they got rid of them. And this press was actually given to me by a friend of mine. He went out and bought a Dillon because he couldn't make this press work, and one of his biggest problems was with the primer feed. And I just thought I would let you all know that I think I figured out what's going on with the primer feed, for me anyhow. It originally came set up for 223s, but I went ahead and bought the stuff to change it over, and I changed it over to 45 ACP. But when I got it all set up and I started loading with it. It worked all right for a little bit, and then I started having problems with the primer feed, just like everybody else seems to. And the primers weren't sliding down, it just wasn't feeding. I looked at it and I fooled with it, and it took me quite a while to figure out actually what was going on. But what I did was I took it apart, and you can see the slide there for the primers, and the primers have to go down that slide every time you go up and down. And what I found out, I took a magnifying glass, and right down here near the end of the slide I found there was a little bit of plastic from where it was manufactured on the top part. It was just a sliver of plastic that was sticking down, and all I needed to do, I took an X-Acto knife and I cut it off. That's all I had to do. But I had to use a magnifying glass to actually see it. And of course my eyes, I'm a little bit older, my eyes probably aren't as good as some of the young guys, but I couldn't see it without a magnifying glass. I took an X-Acto knife, I cut that little sliver off, and I tested it, and I found out that the sliver was just enough that when the primers slid down, they went under that sliver of plastic sticking down, and it was just enough to cause friction, and those primers would not slide down like they were supposed to. I cut it off. I never had any more problem. This primer feed works very well. These are very inexpensive presses. I think brand new they're only like 250 bucks. And this press will turn out a lot of ammunition. But like I say, they are touchy. And once something goes wrong and something gets out of adjustment, you just have to stop and get it right. But once you get the press rolling and you get it working right, this thing will turn out some ammunition. As you can see here, these are all 45 ACP that I have loaded with that press, and this is only some of what I've loaded. And I didn't spend a long time loading it either. Like I say, once that thing gets rolling and you've got everything set right, that thing will turn out some ammunition. I don't know how many rounds are there. It's over 500 I think, but I don't even know. But it will turn out lots of ammunition. So that's the biggest complaint that I've heard about the Progressive 1000 is the primer feed. Another complaint I've heard is a lot of people say these chains, they're breaking these chains. And the guy that I got this from, that gave it to me, had that problem. The chain was breaking on him. This is the original chain that I got. I have never broke a chain. And what I found, and I think is correct, there's a spring on here. So you have to make sure that when the handle, when you pull the handle all the way up, see, when you pull it down, it lets it go. But when you pull it all the way up, it puts just a slight bit of tension on that spring. That spring just barely goes down. That's the way I have it set. That way, because you can set the chain to stop where you want it to stop. But I have it set so that spring barely moves when I go all the way up with the handle. And I've never broke a chain. I've had no problems with that whatsoever. So those are the two biggest complaints I've heard on this press. But I thought I'd just put it on and let you all know my experience and let you know that I've had good luck with this press. So this is C Money on the Lee Pro 1000 Progressive Press.